6th grade. Today we are working on 7-3 add fractions. So we're going back into chapter 7 because I thought that this area needed a little bit of review before you head on to 7th grade. We didn't work on this year, so now that's why we're just doing a little refresher so that you've got it as a skill. I know that you already did it in 5th grade, but we just want to do a little fine-tuning of that skill because you'll need it. So, adding fractions. We are looking specifically at adding fractions that have different denominators. Remember, when you add or subtract fractions, you need to make sure that they have the same denominator before you do your adding or subtracting. Let's take a look at the first example. They want us to add 9/16, 7/8, and 3/4. So we would write those horizontally. 9/16, 7/8, and 3/4. The reason we're going to add them or write them horizontally is so that we can make equivalents over to the right. So we need a common denominator. There are a couple different ways to do that. One way, as they show you in the book, is to find the least common denominator, to look at multiples of the denominator, so multiples of 16, 8, and 4, and see what the lowest is that they have in common. Or you might be able to just look at this and think, well, I can multiply something by 4 to get to 16, the biggest denominator. I can multiply something by 8 to get to 16. So they would all share that denominator of 16ths. So 9/16 will just stay as is. We'll just copy that down again. Then we want to change these two over to 16ths. Now this goes back to some work we were doing earlier in the year with equivalents. So of course, to get from 8 to 16, you would multiply by 2. So we'll multiply by 2 up here and get 14. Here, we multiply by 4 to get to 16. So we'll multiply by 4 up here and we get 12. So now we need to do our adding. Remember, when we're adding, we keep our denominator, which we've already determined is 16ths. And then we've got to add the numerators. We've got 12 plus 14 is 26. 9 more is 35. So we're at 35/16. The last thing that we'll do here is we will convert this into a mixed number. Remember, to do that, we divide, and we would sometimes put the divide sign right there to remind us. So we do 35 divided by 16, and that is 2, and that's 32. Almost second guessing myself there, with a remainder of 3. So the whole number for our mixed number is 2. The remainder of 3 becomes our numerator, and we keep 16ths as our denominator. So 2 and 3/16 is our answer. Okay, on page 227, you have, for practice, 7 to 23 odd. So let's talk about those for a second. The directions say estimate and then add. I don't want you to estimate, I just want you to add, just like we did right here. And make sure that if you get an improper fraction for your answer, that you change that over to a mixed number. Let's do a couple just as practice. So we'll start with number 6. Since you're doing odds, we'll work on some evens. So number 6 is 1/2 plus 1/3. Okay, in this case, the bigger denominator is 3, and there's nothing we can multiply 2 by to get to 3. So another way to get a new denominator for both of them is just to multiply the two denominators together. 2 times 3 is 6. We'll use that as our new denominator. Again, we're going to find equivalents. This is times 3 to get to 6, so this is, and we get 3. This is times 2 to get to 6, and so this is times 2, and we get 2 here. Okay, of course we're keeping 6 as our denominator, and then 3 plus 2 is 5, 5/6. That is not an improper fraction. It is not anything that needs to be simplified, so you're already at your answer. Okay, let's jump ahead to one that's a little more complicated. Let's jump ahead to number 12. Number 12 is 7/9 plus 1/2. Okay, here's another one where you can't change halves over to ninths. So we can do our little trick of multiplying the denominators. 2 times 9 is 18. That's going to be our new denominator. Again, make our equivalents. This is times 2, so this is times 2, that's 14. This is times 9, so this is times 9, and that is 9. Keeping our 18ths, as we do, then we have 14 plus 9 is 23. Here again, because it's an improper fraction, you'll have to divide. 23 divided by 18, that's 1. Subtract and get 5. So it is 1 and 5/18. 1 and 5/18. Remember, the whole number is your number on top that was your whole number answer. Your remainder makes your numerator, and your denominator stays as is, or it was also the outside number there, your divisor. Okay. I think that covers most of the different problems. You've got the same types of problems on workbook page 79, just numbers 5 through 14 for your work today. And that's it. Email me if you have any questions. Have a great day.